Hello, racers! Just got a bunch of spoilers from the Twilight of the Republic, and let's talk about the new keywords and new units and how the game will look in the upcoming set. So we received few cards for heroic and few cards for villainous from the starter decks that will be Asoka Tano versus General Grievous.
Yeah, most of them are from starters and some are from just regular sets, so commons.
Yeah. So let's start with the most disappointing card of them all. So leader Asoka Tano Snips. So a young Asoka, and I think she may be a contender for the worst leader in the game. She has terrible stats, almost useless ability, and when she flips, she loses the ability to get even worse ability. So coordinate is the keyword that can be only used if you control 3 or more units. So her ability gives one of the units she controls +1 attack, and you can attack with the unit. And having 3 units is quite difficult. This set will mostly be focused on tokens and going wider with your board, but still having 3 units is something that will not be really easy to achieve. And her ability doesn't really give anything better than the other abilities of the leaders. So she has something that will be used like 1/3 of the time, but it's not really that good. I think if her ability would just give +1 with attack without the having 3 units, it still wouldn't be that amazing. And when she flips, she's basically a 5 mana 3/6 unit that sometimes is 5/6, and for leader it's just terrible. And even the fact that she's forced, it's still terrible. For me, she is on the same power level as Dr. Afra.
So yeah, I mean, I agree that Asoka is quite weak. At the moment, I would give benefit of the doubt to all the cards that have coordinate, because it's tough to imagine what the cards that are gonna create tokens are gonna look like, or how strong they are gonna be, and
Yeah.
if they're strong enough, then some coordinate cards might end up being strong. But
I think coordinate may be a decent ability, but if Asoka ability wouldn't have the coordinate keyword and would be just be like what she is, she would still not be good. So that, and having mediocre leader when it's the best case scenario is really bad. So let's go with
I mean, I agree that Asoka is pretty weak.
Yeah, let's go with the next card.
Okay. Next up we have Rex, so 6 cost, 4/4 with 1 place. He creates 2 clone trooper tokens. We don't have them on the screen, but they are basically a 2/2 unit with a clone trooper and Republic keyword, Republic trait, if I recall correctly. So basically he gives you 8 points of attack and 8 points of HP in total when you combine all 3 units. And for 6 resources, that's a pretty good ratio. I'm not the biggest fan of Rex because he's kind of slow, and in general, the green heroic green heroic is not as oriented about late game as the villainy, mainly because the ramp in villainy is better, and also villainy has a little bit better top end with stuff like Avenger. Because green villainy is a lot of the times played with blue, so they have a lot of good late game and also a lot of healing. And so far, the heroic counterpart of that, so heroic blue green, is not really existing at the moment. Like, I don't see any good late game decks that play those colors. Like, there's Luke, I guess, but Luke is okay, but nothing more than that. The best late game deck at the moment we have is probably Han, and Han tends to not be the most thrilled about playing 6 drops because he has he tends to prefer to play 7-drop on that run, like U-wing reinforcements and stuff like that. So Rex is slightly awkward with his color, but as a unit, he's pretty strong.
Yeah, I think he will be played in sideboard in the current go white hand because putting 3 units for 5 mana is quite good. But I don't think he will be something that changes the meta or is a really big impact.
He's pretty good at countering like the blue villainy, so he counters Avenger and part of the dark side because you create tokens, and tokens in general are gonna counter the effects that force you to remove one of your units. But yeah,
Okay.
we'll see how it evolves.
Yeah, let's go with the next card. So another heroic card, and it's Anakin Skywalker. And this is the second unit I'm feeling a little bit underwhelmed with. I think he has different stats, so 5 mana, 6/6 for a force unit is something we didn't really have before. But on the other hand, he has an ability that is not really that great. So coordinate to have the ability and on attack draw a card. Drawing a card is a mediocre ability. It sometimes means a lot, but in some games is basically nothing. And 5 mana 6/6 that does nothing feels a little bit similar to Zukus if you don't have Forlum on the board. So it's not that great. So I think he will mostly be maybe a last addition to some force decks, but nothing that will be really, really important.
Yeah, I mean, at 5 cost, he competes with Poe, and Poe is, I would say, is way better than him because he's way more versatile. And yeah, he has Force Trade, which is pretty strong, and Droid has Force Throw to work with that, but I'm not the biggest fan of Anakin either, so yeah.
Yeah, I hope you will get a better card or a better leader in the set. And now...
Now we have 332 Stalwart, so 1 cost, 1 attack to HP unit that has coordinate and gains +1/+1 if you control 3 or more units. This one is okay, but I don't see this guy being that strong. Like, I guess, like, the problematic thing about this guy is the fact that 2/3 is not particularly great stat line in Star Wars Unlimited, I would say, because there are a lot of 3/3 units in early stages of the game which can just trade up with this guy. I know that he costs only 1, but then again, you have to have coordinate in order to get his ability, and you're probably gonna get the coordinate up around 3 or 4 resources, I would say. Like, it's impossible to get it probably on turn 1, and then
Han
it's
can
gonna be
right
pretty
now.
hard.
The current Han can do it on turn 1, but I think this card will be
Okay, I guess, but
yeah. I think
Han,
this card,
yeah.
I think this card is just best case scenario is 1 mana 2/3. So 1 mana 2/3 would be really, really good. We have it already with 1 mana 2/3 restore 1 bounty draw a card.
Deserter.
But this unit loses that pretty quickly, and the fact that if your opponent kills a unit and he goes back to being 1/2 is a really big drawback. So I think it just will be a filler, and since it's a starter card, it will not really be relevant during the draft. So I think you will never see this card on board.
Yeah, I agree.
Coruscant Guard is a 2 mana 3/2 Republic Clone Trooper with coordinate, and if you have coordinate, so if you have 3 units, he gains ambush. And it's another card that I would say it's terrible. And it's mostly because, yeah, we have 2 mana 3/1 ambush that sees play, but he only sees play because the ambush is consistent. And playing 2 mana 3/2 is not really great, especially that the game moved forward a little bit. So this stat is really awkward because we got more 2 mana 2/4s or stuff that trades up with it. So I think the the ability to have ambush sometimes it's not really that relevant because he is not a great turn 1 play. So I think he will be just a filler to draft, and in draft he may be decent to God because he will be an early drop that you need a few of.
Free-to stat line is okay, but the unit needs to be really strong in order to justify playing it, and coordinate is again the ability that you will probably get to use in later stages of the game, like on 3 or 4 resources, and you have to play this guy off curve in order to use his ambush. So I don't like this guy.
Yeah. So let's go to the more fun part of the spoilers for me at least.
Okay, now we have the Grievous, so leader for Cunning Villainy. As a leader, he gives a Droid unit Sentinel for the face, and when he deploys at 6, he is a 4/8 unit that on attack gives to one of your Droid units Sentinel, as well as +1/+0. And I'm personally not the biggest fan of Grievous, and the reason for that is like it's kind of similar to Rex. So yellow villainy so far was the color that was mostly about tempo. Like the problem I think Grievous is gonna face is the similar to Traun. So Traun in set 1 was the leader that was meant to be more oriented about playing slow late game, but just yellow villainy in general is at the moment really oriented about playing exhaust stuff and killing your opponent quickly. And I don't know if that's gonna change in the next set, maybe. But so far in set 1, set 2, that's how the color operates. There's technically an option to play hard control with yellow-blue, but it's still work in progress. And yeah, I mean, Grievous is even as a unit, he's not that great. Like he's okay, but not enough to make this archetype like go crazy because of that one unit.
Yeah, I think there is some cards that will work really well with him, but him being 6 mana, I only see him being good if there will be a lot of support, and he can like slow the game till the late game to clear the board, and then try to overwhelm opponents in this way. So I think if he will be playable, he will do a similar job to Vader in set 1, playing like a control that just want to slow down the game till the blast turn, and then you will deploy him and play like a big stuff, but he would need a lot of really great droids to make that happen.
Yeah, the problem is, I mean, if you're talking about playing around blast, do you mean like playing hard control or playing something like...
I was thinking about if you got like, I don't know, 2 mana, 2/2 droid that you can make Sentinel and just slow down the game with units, and then have like a really powerful end game. But yeah, there would need to be a lot of new cards to support it. And one of those cards will be Battle Droid Escort. And for me, this is the most interesting card that they've spoiled. So it's 3 mana, separatist droid trooper, 1/1, and it has when played and when defeated, create a battle droid token. Battle droid token is a 1/1 minion that is separatist droid and trooper. So for 3 mana, we basically get a 3/3 in stats. So it's not amazing. It's not even really great, but having those stats separated into 3 units, so it works really great with Grievous because he basically gets 3 Sentinels that he can just put to be like blocked some big attacks. But more of it's when you play this card, you will almost guarantee that something will survive till the next turn. And if you can abuse the fact that you have units, this may be really, really strong. But it also depends if there will be support for it. So if there will be a unit like Veers that can give each one of your droids +1/+1, or units like from set 1 the officer that was giving troopers +1/+1.
General Tagi.
Yeah, Targi. So if we get more cards like this, there might be a tribal deck around droids and troopers, and this card will be really key if the deck will be playable, but we will need to see much more for this deck to be relevant.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see exploit keywords. We'll see it later in the video, but so far as a 3/3 in this set, this unit wouldn't be that great. But
in this set, it would be terrible. But
yeah,
because of exploit especially, we will be talking later. So
yeah. Okay, now we have General Grievous guard. So 4 cost for 4. And when this unit is attacked, he creates a battle droid token, and battle droid token is just a 1/1 droid unit with droid, sentinel, not sentinel, droid, separatist, and a trooper keyword, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
By the way, the card that we were talking a moment ago was also creating the 1/1 tokens. I don't know if that's if it says on the card. Yeah, it doesn't, but yeah, those are just 1/1 tokens. Okay. So moving on to the Guardian, I don't like this guy because the green villainy is for the most part slow color, so the color that wants to play more for the light game, and the ability to the ability which works when this unit is attacked seems to be the most beneficial when you're the aggressive player. So your opponent is attacking your units and not the other way around. And yeah, the green villainy is not particularly great at being aggressive, so that's why I'm not really seeing this card being that good. But I guess he has a separatist and droid trade, so that's something. But yeah,
he's definitely designed to work with Grievous. But I think the fact that he's a 4/4 is really pushing him down. Sorry, I think if he would be a 4/5, he may see a little bit of play, but as a 4/4, I think he will just be a really bad unit. No, sorry guys, second. And I also
the green.
I also think the green will not be the greatest pair for Grievous unless he gains a lot of support in green in the set, but I think Grievous may be a blue-yellow leader. And next is a separatist Commando. So if you control another separate, it's gain rate 2. We have a really similar unit to this as a red 1/4 that gets rate 2 if you control a red unit. And I think both of those cards will be really, really bad. Yeah, best case scenario, you get a 4/3 while attacking, but it's extremely easy to be killed. There is a lot more 3/3 turn ones that will just get a free trade with it. So for me, it's just filler for the starter deck and nothing more. It will never probably see play.
Yeah, the Partisan Insurgent in set 1, which was similar to this card, was 1/4, and he was okay because there were not that many cards that could kill him on turn 1, so he was able to get his rate sometimes. But with this guy, being a 2/3 just makes him really vulnerable to being killed by stuff like Battlefield Marine or Sabine Wren, so I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Hellfire Tank. It costs 7/6 unit with Exploit 2, and Exploit gives you the ability to, when you play this card, you can defeat up to 2 units you control, and this card costs 2 less for each unit that was defeated this way. So Exploit really synergizes with the tokens, obviously. So you can play him on 4 resources as a 7/6 unit. If you manage to kill 2 units, so he costs only 4 then. But yeah, the paying the cost of destroying 2 units is really expensive, and so far the cards that are producing tokens are not that. The tokens that you get are pretty expensive because you get only free tokens that are 1/1 for 3 resources, and that's not that's pretty expensive. So using that only to get this unit on the field is not enough in my eyes. Like, I guess if he had something like Overwhelm, he would be even better, way better, because you could kill stuff and then deal some excess damage to the base. But
I think
he just dies to.
The best comparison will be to ATST. That is 6 mana, 7/6 Overwhelm. So you need to kill 2 units to make him cheaper than ATST. His best case scenario is you play the Droid for free that creates a token on 3 resources, and then Hellfire Tank on 4. But then you lost 2 units to play as 7/6 that doesn't really have an ability. I don't think this is the best exploit card we will see. It's not even the best exploit card we see already, because there will be a better one next. So the only thing that may save it a little bit is that the fact that it's a vehicle. So maybe a combo with triple Dark Raid somewhere, but I still don't think it's good enough.
But I will say that at this point we have so many better vehicles than this one, and
the only thing is that you can play this from triple Dark Raid for 3 mana. If it would be a turn that you try to end the game, killing other units doesn't really matter, and there is not really a 5-drop with 7 attack. So.
But there is one with 6 attack and healing 3 when you attack with him, and he's just way better than him.
Yeah, but you can use exploit with triple Dark Raid. So Walker costs 6, and you can play him for 3 mana. If you
okay.
That was what I was trying to say. So it may be like a finisher in those type of decks, but I think it will be just like a cool thing to play in limited, because in limited very big units are pretty strong, and maybe there will be enough tokens so he will be playable, but I think he will just be a filler. But now let's talk about card that will be played. Maybe.
Okay. So Ventress, do you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, I can. So exploit 2 on Ventress, and she costs 4, so you can play her for free if you kill 2 other units. So if you played the droids on 3 resources, you can kill 2 of them to play her for free. So she can be basically a free turn to play with another droid that is a separatist, so she will be a 5/4 attack. Is it good enough? Maybe, because she is Force. And there is a little bit of Force synergy that is quite strong, especially in Villainous. So Force Lightning, Force Throw, Saber, and if you play her for free on 3 resources, you can equip her instantly. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Inquisitor will have some crazy plays with her to be able to on second turn attack for like 8, because she would come out, he can untap her, give her a saber, and attack for 8 if you control a separatist. But we will need to see if this is the case. But because killing 2 units and putting her for free may give you a little bit of a combo-oriented deck, because there is always a case that if you can play something for 0 mana, it may be abused if combined with other cards. So I have a little bit of hope for her to see play.
Yeah. So before I talk about this card, is that I wanna explain that this card is only available at special convents like this. The promo version. There is gonna be also a card that is gonna be available in the regular set, but she has a aggression villainy aspect because it might be difficult to read on this one.
Yeah.
And in terms of this card, I'm not particularly thrilled about this one because the exploit makes it kind of awkward to use the on attack ability because you're killing your own stuff, and then she also wants you to have separatist units in order to get her ability to work. So it's kind of counter synergistic in its way. I guess you can play her and then play another unit, but I don't like this idea. And also it's on attack, so when you play as her as a 2/4, the opponent can just ECL something and kill her, and that unit that ECL'd it can stay alive. And also if you're talking about her being good in Grand Inquisitor, I think the card is not particularly great. Maybe in this set we'll see Grand Inquisitor, but I can't do that.
I think I'm more excited because of the ability to play her for 0, and
I can see that.
I really like abusing 0 cost cards in other card games. There is not really a way to abuse it in Star Wars yet, but yeah, maybe if there is a unit that can come back from graveyard if you kill it, so she may create some unique decks. And lastly,
so we have Maul, 5 cost, 5/6 unit that is also aggression villainy, and this one can attack up to 2 units instead of 1. And Maul is okay, I guess he's a force unit, but just the ability is not enough to really make him viable in my eyes. You get to attack 2 units, but if you play him as a 5/6 and then you attack 2 units, then he's gonna probably not survive that attack. I guess you want him to kill a 1 unit, stay at 2 or 3 HP, and then attack and kill 2 targets. But if you want to do that, then the opponent can just trade with him with one of those units that were meant to be healed. And Maul seems to be really awkward in practice to be used.
Yeah, I think he's really understated because let's compare him to other 5 cost units. We have Zukus that is 6/6. We have Poe, we have Anakin. So I'm not really sure why he's only 5 attack. And on top of that, his ability is not that strong. Yeah, he can clear 2 units, but he will be traded, so his base case scenario is a 2/1, and it's really hard to accomplish that. So I think he will be a really cool looking card that never sees actual play.
Yeah, okay. I mean, as a 6/6 he will be pretty good, but as 5/6,
as a 6/6, because the fact is that he can't trade with other 5-drop. So if your opponent plays Poe, you play Maul, and even if you have initiative, you can't kill Poe and something else. Then he would be really cool. If he could do, I would think he would be better if he would be a 6/5.
Yeah, he would be definitely way
better. But with 5 attack, I don't think he will be good enough.
Yeah, also in order to use his ability, you have to attack units, so you can't attack base and then unit as a bonus. So all doesn't seem that great so far.
And that's it. So that's the spoilers we got. I'm actually quite excited for the set. I think even though they showed us basically the commons and low cost cards and starter leaders, I think the theme of the set is something that really talks to me, and I really like tokens and going wider with the board, and I think the third set may be more focused on that, and it could be quite cool to have another way of playing.
Yeah, I mean tokens are pretty like they fit the theme of the prequels because of the Clone Wars and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So there were big battles with many units, so it kind of can be reflected in this game, I guess,
Yeah.
with those tokens.
Okay, thanks everybody for listening, and I hope you will tune in to the next video that will be showing up on top. Thanks. Bye.
See ya.